Or is there any person who came here by any other means? If you have never driven or you never drove yourself here?
You
Anyone?
can
We
walk.
We
walked.
just dropped
We walked because we live in the neighborhood.
I
We
think
live in
from
the
finance
suburbs.
even here.
Yeah.
Actually, how did the flight land here?
No, no, you drive.
There was a
Once you
driver,
just fly.
one way or the other. So we are looking at. I'm standing in between two very important sessions. The first session we have been told about quite a number of things, and then the other session, which is very critical for the enterprise to be able to grow and to be able to move. Is there an enterprise here today who is not for profit? You can put up your hand. Any. So our key driver is we must be able to do proper business and be able to capture why we are in that business. Okay? So my presentation is kind of hybrid and I'll be able to move through it quickly. So the key objective we can move. The key objective is just to help us identify the determinants and the constraints and also look at what are the enablers, how can we take advantage of the enablers. Then number two is also to appreciate the role of RTI, that is research training, technology and innovation, so that we can be able to have sustainable businesses. Next slide, please. So what we see there is that we have determinants which are issues about market access, price premium, stable industry relationships, we have been told. We have enablers or facilitators, we have training, research, we have quality of services, we have constraints on the other side, labor, issues of materials, access to information. But then we have some which are in between. So the critical one is access to finance. Access to finance is a major challenge, which is also a driver, it's also an enabler, it's also a constraint. Then there is the element of regulation, and then we have infrastructure. So we'll go into some of them slightly in detail as we proceed. Next slide. So access to finance. We have been told a number of things about finance, but also after my presentation later on, we'll get slightly deeper on the issues of finance. But the key thing here is that we need to know where is our finance coming in, how are we using this finance, and how can we be accountable for the finances that our enterprises have. Then there's also the element of how can I be able to attract finance to the enterprise. So this is all about thinking through and also looking at opportunities to be able to make that a reality. An example is one can work with Kenya Invest or engage with them. Now they are doing profiles for counties. And there is a challenge that each county needs to look at providing a value chain that is ready for investors. And we are in some of these value chains already. We can be able to work with such institutions so that we have bankable ideas to be able to attract the kind of financing we need. We have been told about the green financing by Dr. Tisa. These are opportunities that we can be able to work through. We have KIE and KBC as government institutions who have finance that can be able to enable enterprises in the line of industry. Um, Additionally, we have financing for enterprises, the youth enterprise fund, the women enterprise fund. Is there anyone who has applied for this? Any? Yeah. And what would you say was the experience? Maybe in just one or two words.
For us, we were approached by the youth enterprise to apply. They actually came to Yeah, so apart from just being the founder of my company, I also lead a cooperative of young people doing hydroponics farming. So we were visited by Youth Enterprise and they wanted us for us to apply for some good amount of money. So it was a really seamless kind of a process. Where we are now, we are just about to receive some very good amount of money. Please don't.
Don't follow me.
I think we can clap for it. This confirms that finance, although it is an enabler, it can be a constraint if you do not have it. But when you actively solve for it, you can be able to find it. So kindly let us look for these opportunities. They are all online. You can check. Even now, you can go online and you'll be able to find information about them. Then another key thing is about the trade policy. Are we aware about the African Continental Free Trade Area?
Yeah.
This is a wide opportunity that we can be able to service the Kenyan market, but also service the African market. And there is nothing that will stop us from accessing this. If we can work with an institution like a program, once we are done with Kirby in terms of developing the product, then we can look at branding and market promotion, market penetration, and they will help us to go to the regional market. When you look at issues about associations, trade associations, are we members of CAM? KEPSA?
Yeah.
Now, we need to think about, we need to belong to an association. As well, even as this cohort, we can start and build our own so that we can be able to leverage on the power of association in driving a number of issues and also solving some of the challenges that we have as enterprises. If we are many together and we look for particular assistance together, it becomes cheaper to all of us. Next slide. So all of us are operating in one sector or the other. Are we aware about the regulations governing that sector? Have we been able to comply with those regulations? So we need to be very deliberate on this one. We know, then we can be able to see what is needed for us to comply. Then, as enterprises, I want to challenge all of us that let us not reinvent some things. If there are particular things that we already have, let's use them. A good example is on infrastructure. Infrastructure, when we look at it, it can be a determinant, a constraint, as well as a facilitator. Now we are in discussion because of the World Bank support, and we are accessing services from Kirby. Now, Kirby can be an incubator, it can also be a common manufacturing facility for us. At the same time, Kirby can help us in contract manufacturing. You can actually just approach Kirby, then we will do the rest of the work for you. However, must we have all facilities for doing the work? Or can we just leverage on the existing infrastructure? So my challenge to all of us is let us use what we have. Like in Kirby, for example, when we grow and we want to take up more space, the government is constructing the county aggregation and industrial park. 13 of them are earmarked to be completed this financial year. And among those 13, already they have requested people to express interest. Have we expressed interest to take up some of those spaces for growing our industry? There are people who are thinking about building your godown, and why should you build? And already money has been put aside and a facility has been put up. So let us apply for this so that we can become now the entrepreneurs to use these facilities. These facilities are not for other people. They are to be occupied by Kenyan enterprises doing industrialization work in Kenya. Also, we have economic zones like EPZ, CESA, but those ones now, as we grow maybe beyond now the kite, we can be able to go towards the SESA and the 50Z way. So after we are able to utilize number one, that is the only time maybe we need to think about building our own infrastructure. But if you already have them, that's good enough, and you can be able to proceed going forward. Next slide, please. Another key thing is about the access to market. And when you look at access to market, there are quite a number of things that one needs to think through about personnel, about the cost of how do you just bring down the cost of the things that you need so that you can be able to access your market easily and quickly. Also about how do you position your product so that you can be able to brand and also be able to attract the premium pricing. A good example is anyone who is doing cosmetic products. Packaging determines the value you will be paid for it. Anyone doing things like honey, if you pack in just a plastic bottle, the value will be slightly low. If you pack in glass and you do proper branding, you will charge premium. So we also need to look at price premiums. How do we manage some of the things like inventory? Engineer has just moved, but if you remember Muda, who remembers Muda? We were told about Muda, that we need to reduce Muda, and there are 7 Mudas we need to reduce. Do you remember?
Yes.
Now, Muda number 1, we should not produce so many if the market is not ready for. We only produce what is going to be taken out. So we reduce Muda 1, then we reduce Muda 2. When we produce too much, we will have excess inventory. Then that becomes a problem. So that is the same thing which we are saying here. And so we can also put in other inventory systems like fast in, fast out, fast expiry, fast out, so that we are able to manage that. Then when we are here together today, I request that we all know each other and we develop relationships as enterprises together with the service providers, so that when we have stable industry relationships, we can be able to do things in commonality. It is cheaper for all of us. Next slide, please. Yes. Another key issue is about the cost of labor. Where do we get our people who work for us? How do we get them? Are they expensive? Are they reliable? And how can we grow them? So as enterprises, the client call here is, let us develop the human capacity that we have. And let us look at it from the group perspective. For example, if we have 10 enterprises and we are all doing maybe value addition in agro, must each one of you look for a trainer to train individual people, and you all want to get maybe global cup for export. As a group, you can be able to bring your people together. Then you get just one trainer and you are taken through global gap and you move. So these are the things which we can be able to take advantage of synergy of doing group work. Then issue of cost of materials, I think this one has already been alluded to previously. Issues about standardization. Requirements for standardization. Once we are working together, the way we are working together, there is almost an assurance that towards the very end of the training aspects of product development, that your product will be certified, and then you can be able to access market. But for now, the enterprises that would need to comply with the requirements, we can as well be able to assist them. Then there is the issue about awareness to information. I think part of today's discussion, we are bringing more information to you. And also within, I think there is like some WhatsApp group that we are already part of it. Any new info that is coming that is very relevant, we'll also be able to share there. Next slide, please. I want to show you just a snapshot of a case study in Kirby, just showing how we are doing training, we are doing technology assessment or technical assistance for enterprises. There you can see a lady being trained on some engineering works. Then on the bottom picture, to my right, there is some clay work going on there. Then in the middle there, bottom, that is the essential oils extraction process, people being demonstrated to. Bottom left, we see people finalizing their training on the BASO. Top left, we see bakery work going on. This is a group. Then in the middle there, I think that is papaya going on, training in the food. So group training makes it much easier. You can reach a bigger number at lower cost. Next slide. So another thing is to look at market size. How do you determine your market size? There was someone who said the enterprise is paper. I saw paper, I saw could a dairy goods, pallets, cosmetics, anyone. How do you decide your market size? Anyone? Just quick. Do we know our market size?
Yeah.
We need to know our market size and be able to move quickly. So I've just mentioned a number of institutions that we can be able to work with. Kirby can assist in product development, you know us very well. Testing, quality assurance. KIPI, if you have an invention, you can approach KIPI for the registration purposes. Universities, we can approach them for talent sourcing and also for capacity building. Proba, we have talked about it, marketing and branding, KIE, KDC for financing and also machinery and workspaces for additional space. Next slide. So on this slide, I will not talk much about it, but just on research, technology and innovation, we do not need to reinvent the wheels. Kindly, if an enterprise needs a particular R&D service, just reach out to us. If something has already been done elsewhere, we can basically adopt the technology and be able to move together. Then we need to appreciate organizational digitization so that we become more competitive. Next slide, please. Just a quick just showcase of a few packaged products that you see on the slide. If you package well, you can demand more. Also, if you package in green packaging materials, you can also demand more. If you want to export to Europe, there are some new things which are coming up that we need to be aware of. The source of your raw material, you must be very clear. If it is from a place that was originally a forest, and now it has been converted, then you have a problem with them. So we need to be careful for, when we go for premium, we be careful on such. Next slide. Yes, so in the conclusion, we are just saying that for us to be competitive, we need to adapt knowledge, skills, technology, and we leverage on the support within the available institutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daktari. Pengine makofi tena kidogo. I want now to have a plenary session.